What if an entire continent vanished beneath the Pacific, leaving behind only echoes in myth, geology, and human imagination? The legend of Lemuria, sometimes called Mu, describes a lost landmass said to have flourished thousands of years before recorded history, often dated in speculative traditions to around 10,000 BCE. Though not recognized as a scientifically confirmed continent, the idea persists at the intersection of mythology, early pseudoscientific theories, and cultural storytelling. Intriguingly, some narratives connect this vanished civilization to Mount Shasta, a towering volcanic peak in Northern California, suggesting it as a surviving fragment or spiritual gateway to the lost world. For archaeologists, Lemuria is less a physical site and more a case study in how human societies construct memory, identity, and meaning around the unknown. Long before modern plate tectonics explained continental drift, scholars imagined lost lands to solve ancient puzzles. In the 19th century, the concept of Lemuria emerged as a hypothesis to explain the distribution of lemur fossils across Madagascar and India. Scientists at the time proposed a now-submerged land bridge across the Indian Ocean. Although later disproven by tectonic theory, the name Lemuria endured, gradually transforming from a scientific placeholder into a mythic continent. Archaeologically, this evolution is significant. It illustrates how interpretations of natural phenomena can migrate into cultural narratives, gaining symbolic power even after their scientific basis is abandoned. Beneath the surface of the Pacific Ocean lies not a lost continent, but a complex geological record that fuels enduring speculation. Modern geology confirms that the Pacific Basin is dominated by oceanic crust, making the existence of a sunken continent like Lemuria highly unlikely. However, submerged features such as seamounts, volcanic plateaus, and drowned coastal shelves have occasionally been misinterpreted as remnants of larger landmasses. These underwater formations, shaped by volcanic activity and sea level changes, provide fertile ground for myth-making. Archaeologists must therefore distinguish between verifiable evidence and interpretive narratives that arise from incomplete understanding. Yet myths of Lemuria persist because they answer questions science alone cannot fully satisfy. Stories describe an advanced civilization possessing knowledge of astronomy, architecture, and spiritual practice, ultimately destroyed by a catastrophic event, often depicted as a global flood or tectonic collapse. These accounts mirror other flood myths found worldwide, suggesting a shared human tendency to encode environmental trauma into narrative form. In this sense, Lemuria becomes part of a broader comparative framework that includes legends of lost lands across different cultures. The connection to Mount Shasta introduces a distinctly North American dimension to the legend. Rising dramatically above the surrounding landscape, Mount Shasta has long been associated with spiritual traditions and esoteric beliefs. In some modern interpretations, it is described as a refuge for survivors of Lemuria, who are said to have retreated underground after their continent sank. While such claims lack archaeological evidence, they demonstrate how natural landmarks can become focal points for mythological continuity. For researchers, this highlights the role of landscape in shaping cultural imagination. Imagine a civilization erased so completely that only fragments survive in stories whispered across generations. Archaeology, grounded in material evidence, cannot confirm the existence of Lemuria as described in myth. However, it can explore the origins and transformations of the legend itself. Textual analysis reveals how the concept evolved through the writings of 19th century naturalists, later adopted and expanded by spiritual movements in the 20th century. Each reinterpretation adds layers of meaning, turning Lemuria into a cultural artifact rather than a physical one. In the absence of ruins, narrative becomes the primary archaeological layer. Unlike sites such as ancient cities or submerged settlements, Lemuria offers no stratigraphy to excavate, no artifacts to catalog. Instead, researchers analyze documents, oral traditions, and symbolic representations. This approach aligns with the archaeology of ideas, a field that examines how concepts persist and change over time. Lemuria thus occupies a unique position. It is both absent and present, unverified yet influential. The enduring appeal of lost continents reflects a deeper human fascination with disappearance and rediscovery. From Atlantis to Mu, such stories often emerge during periods of rapid scientific or cultural change. They provide a sense of continuity, linking modern societies to imagined ancient origins. In the case of Lemuria, the narrative also intersects with themes of ecological catastrophe, suggesting a world destroyed by forces beyond human control. These themes resonate strongly in contemporary discussions of climate change and environmental risk. Even without physical evidence, the legend of Lemuria leaves traces in cultural landscapes. Artistic works, literature, and spiritual movements have all drawn inspiration from the idea of a lost Pacific civilization. Mount Shasta, in particular, has become a symbolic anchor for these narratives, attracting communities interested in alternative histories and metaphysical exploration. For archaeologists, such phenomena illustrate how myths can shape real-world behaviors and perceptions of place. Science and myth often move in parallel, occasionally intersecting, but rarely merging completely. While geology provides clear explanations for the formation of ocean basins, it does not diminish the cultural significance of stories like Lemuria. Instead, it reframes them as expressions of human curiosity and creativity. Archaeology, positioned between these domains, seeks to understand both the material world and the narratives constructed around it. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Lemuria is not whether it existed, but why it continues to matter. The persistence of the legend suggests that it fulfills a psychological or cultural need, offering a vision of lost knowledge, forgotten wisdom, or alternative histories. In this sense, Lemuria functions as a mirror, reflecting contemporary concerns as much as ancient imagination. If there is a lesson to be drawn from the myth of Lemuria, it lies in the relationship between evidence and belief. Archaeology reminds us that understanding the past requires careful interpretation of material remains. Yet it also acknowledges the power of stories in shaping human experience. Lemuria, though unsupported by physical data, remains a compelling narrative precisely because it occupies the space between what is known and what is imagined. And so, somewhere between the depths of the Pacific and the slopes of Mount Shasta, a lost continent continues to exist, not in stone, but in story. Through the lens of archaeology, Lemuria becomes less a vanished land and more a testament to the enduring human desire to explore, explain, and remember worlds beyond the horizon.